Hey guys, get ready to witness the most beautiful woman in the land with our movie preview video of Snow White. This musical fantasy film directed by Mark Webb is a live action reimagining of the 1937 animated classic Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, which itself is based on the 1812 fairy tale Snow White by the Brothers Grimm. Decide for yourself who is the fairest of them all when the film hits theaters in the United States on March 21st. Brought to you by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. Let's dive deep into the movie preview video of Snow White by discussing its positive and negative aspects. Before we delve into the movie preview video, let's take a moment to understand what the movie is all about. Snow White is a beautiful girl who runs away to the forest to hide from her stepmother, the Wicked Queen. The queen is jealous because she wants to be the most beautiful in the land, but Snow White is more beautiful than her. In the forest, Snow White finds a small house where seven dwarfs live. They take care of her and keep her safe from the queen. Positives of the movie. This movie offers a fresh take on the Snow White story, preserving the heart of the classic fairy tale while adding a modern twist. Snow White takes control of her own story, making her a stronger and more independent character than in past versions. The film looks stunning with vibrant colors, detailed costumes, and a beautifully crafted fantasy world. The CGI and special effects are well done, making the magic feel real. The actress playing Snow White, who was great in West Side Story, brings her talent here as well. The Evil Queen is a standout, both mesmerizing and intimidating, making a truly engaging villain. As expected from a Disney film, the movie includes emotional and catchy musical numbers with new songs that fit well within the story. This version raises the emotional stakes, especially in the conflict between Snow White and the Evil Queen. Unlike the original, where Snow White was mostly a damsel in distress, this movie focuses more on her personal growth and journey toward becoming a leader. The relationship between Snow White and the Evil Queen feels deeper, adding more drama and tension. With its fresh perspective, strong performances, and stunning visuals, this film gives the classic story a modern and empowering update. Negatives of the movie. Disney's new Snow White remake is bound to disappoint many fans of the original. The classic fairy tale romance, including the iconic true love kiss, has been heavily altered, which may upset those who love the original's charm. The film tries too hard to modernize the story, making Snow White a more independent and assertive character, but this change will likely divide audiences, especially those who prefer the traditional Disney princess style. Visually, the movie looks stunning, but the excessive use of CGI makes some scenes feel fake rather than magical. The fantasy elements don't feel as unique or enchanting as they should, and the film lacks the simple, timeless magic that made the 1937 version so beloved. Instead, it leans too much into modern themes, which takes away from the fairy tale atmosphere. The humor, warmth, and innocence of the original don't translate well into this darker, more serious take. Snow White's chemistry with other characters, including her love interest and allies, feels weaker, making the relationship less engaging. One of the biggest criticisms is the CGI depiction of the seven dwarfs, which many viewers have found unsettling and lifeless. Their design takes away from the film's overall aesthetic rather than adding to it. Even Snow White's updated dress and hairstyle have been let down, as they lack the charm and appeal of the original design. Disney's ongoing trend of live action remakes seems more focused on cashing in on nostalgia than creating fresh and innovative storytelling. This adaptation unfortunately falls into the same trap, failing to capture the magic that made Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs a classic. The story in this musical fantasy movie is weak, and the narration is just okay. The direction could have been much better. However, the supporting cast does a good job, and Snow White and the Evil Queen absolutely steal the show with their brilliant performances. The cinematography is top notch, and the locations are absolutely stunning. Snow White tries to keep the magic of the 1937 classic while adding fresh modern twists to connect with today's audience. It brings a stronger, more independent Snow White and new songs to the mix, but not everyone is thrilled. Some fans feel the heavy use of CGI and changes to iconic visuals take away from the original charm. Love it or not, this adaptation is definitely sparking conversation. You can catch Snow White in theaters near you starting 21st March. Snow White movie gives the classic story a bold twist with stunning visuals and a stronger, more independent heroine. It aims to feel fresh and exciting for modern audiences, but while trying to be different, it loses some of the original fairy tale magic and does not quite create a new identity of its own. Some fans may love the change, while others might miss the old charm. Critics have had mixed opinions on Snow White, and we have rated it 3 out of 5 stars when it hits theaters. It is expected to make around 68 million in its opening weekend. And that's a wrap for our Snow White movie preview video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to show some love by hitting that like button, sharing with your friends, dropping a comment and subscribing to our channel. Please use the thanks option as much as you can to support us. Your support means the world to us. Catch you all in our next video. Until then, take care, stay safe, stay youthful and keep watching our videos. Thank you.